with Charlotte Hawkins.
Hello, good morning. It's 6 o'clock. We're with you all the way through till 9. Adil and Susanna will be here from 6:30. First, our top story. And a nurse who looked after Boris Johnson when he was in intensive care with COVID has left the NHS. Jenny McGee criticised the government's handling of the pandemic and nurses' pay. Our chief correspondent about what she sees as a lack of respect from the government towards NHS workers.
Yes.
Well, meanwhile, Boris Johnson's likely to face questions in Parliament today on where is safe to go on holiday after one of his ministers said all international trips were too dangerous. It comes as flights from India continue to land in the UK despite a surge of the variant first found there. It's all a bit confusing, isn't it, as to whether people should be holidaying abroad. And it seems we've still got these flights arriving from India on a daily basis. And I'll be speaking to the travel expert Simon Calder about that in a short time on advice about where to book your holiday to this year. Now, meanwhile, the government is being threatened with a revolt from politicians of all parties if it tries to reintroduce a tier system in response to the Indian variant. Tory MPs would join ranks with Labour opponents to fight what they claim would be a devastating fourth lockdown. Counted by governments, which is going to be a worry for people, isn't it?
Certainly, Charlotte.
There are reports this morning that an existing inquiry into Donald Trump's property company is now being investigated by the New York Attorney General's office in a criminal capacity. Now, farmers say their industry could suffer irreversible damage by a trade deal with Australia, which could see cheap lamb and beef imported to the UK. Australian producers could be granted tariff-free access to the UK market as part of the first major post-Brexit trade deal. Juliet, impacted by this potential deal?
Well, farmers are...
Sexual harassment is rife among school pupils of primary and secondary age. That's according to an exclusive survey by Tess, the Times educational supplement for Good Morning Britain. Over a third of those we spoke to had observed children watching or circulating pornography, while over half had witnessed verbal sexual assault. And nearly half of teachers say there's not enough guidelines on how to deal with such incidents. Lorna Shaddock has more. Now, it's just coming up to 6:15. Let's find out what's happening weather-wise with Laura. Well, Good Morning Britain's here all the way through till 9. Susanna and Adil will be here from 6:30. And that's coming up. First, let's get the news, travel and weather where you are. See you in just a moment. Hello again, let's take a quick look at the front pages today. The Daily Mirror report. The Health Minister has warned people not to travel abroad at all this year, calling it dangerous, while the Prime Minister's urged people not to holiday in amber list countries like France or Spain. The mixed messages from the government on international travel have caused confusion for holidaymakers. Well, I'm joined by travel expert Simon Calder. Morning. I mean, this doesn't help, does it? Because first of all, we're thinking, OK, we're right to go to green and then, you know, you can go to amber. Don't go to amber. Now it looks like don't go at all.
As well as, of course, a number of people going to green countries.
Which I'm sure it was good. Everybody's desperate to do it, really, aren't they? But what would your advice be then? Sure, if you're booking that you've got flexibility, do you sense that there might be more changes coming with the tone that where people have to remember that the tests and things that they have to sort out? So there is quite a lot of paperwork.
Yes.
OK, Simon, thanks so much for that. Well, Richard is here now with today's entertainment. So Susanna and Adil are here in just a moment. And singing. Now let's find out what's happening with the weather. Is that as wild? Here's Laura with the details. Got my days this week. Here we go. Being threatened with a revolt from politicians of all parties if it tries to reintroduce a tier system in response to a surge in the Indian variant. Tory MPs would join ranks with Labour opponents to fight what they claim would be a devastating fourth lockdown. Nick Dixon is in Blackburn. A nurse who looked after Boris Johnson when he was in intensive care with COVID has left the NHS. Jenny McGee criticised the government's handling of the pandemic and of nurses' pay. Our chief correspondent. Breaking news for you on the rate of inflation. We just had the figures in from the Office of National Statistics in the last few minutes, and the rate of consumer price index inflation rose to 1.5% in April. That was from 0.7% in March. So that inflation rate has more than doubled in just 1 month. And the chief economist there at the ONS has said it's due to prices rising, household utility bills going up, clothing costs increasing, and the price of crude oil continuing to rise. He says that motor fuel is at its highest price since January 2020. So that's the breaking news for you there. The rate of inflation more than doubles in just 1 month to 1.5%.
Charlotte, thank you.